I've had a Canon camera for over 5 years now. I think my first Canon camera was a T5i that I got right after I graduated college, and that was before I was even thinking about doing any kind of video work or anything like that. Then I upgraded to an SL2 a few years later just because I really liked the compact body and it was easier to take it when I went to travel. All the footage that you see on my YouTube channel is pretty much just filmed on the SL2, sometimes my phone, and sometimes the DJI Osmo Pocket. But then a few months ago, I filmed with my friend Violet, and she got a new camera. It was a Sony camera, and we went around San Francisco and took some video footage. And upon going back and editing it and just like seeing the quality as well as using the camera all day, holy crap, I thought that I found my dream camera for sure. So ever since then, I've been looking for a deal. I've been looking for a sale. I've been looking on eBay because Sony cameras are pretty damn pricey. And guess what, guys? I got it. Choo-choo! So yes, I got the Sony A7C. And a few of the videos that I posted at the end of the year, you should be able to maybe see a difference in quality on my camera. Maybe not, but we're gonna use this video today to test how the Sony A7C compares to my late model, my Canon SL2. The Canon SL2 came out in 2017, so it is a little more dated, but the A7C came out in 2020, so it's only been out for a little bit over a year. I was a little hesitant on purchasing it right now because everyone keeps talking about rumors of the A7C2, when that was gonna come out. Was it gonna come out in 2021? Is it gonna come out this year? No one really knows. But with the shortage of hardware for cameras and it just being harder to find a camera or just like, you know, a graphics card or literally anything in that electronic category, I just thought I need to cop one now and, you know, just enjoy it, right? So I did do a quick unboxing when I first got the camera, so let's just get into that right now. Excuse my dirty desk, but you're gonna have to deal with it for this unboxing. I'd like to note that I did buy the camera used. I thought the money that I would save buying it used would go towards another lens, which actually worked out. I bought this camera via Adorama as an open box display camera, and quality wise I thought it was pretty much the same as new. I also bought the black version because the black is cheaper, and I guess the silver looks more like a film camera, so people like that vibe a little more. One disappointing thing that I found was that there isn't an external battery charger. It only comes with the USB-C cord to plug directly into the camera in order to charge. Now that's not a huge deal, but it's just another thing that I eventually need to buy, as well as spare batteries. My secondary lens that I got is the Samyang 14mm lens, which I got for a bit over $100, also on Adorama. Unfortunately, it's a lot bigger and heavier than I expected, and I honestly didn't know what to expect when getting it besides it being a wide angle. So I was already unsure of my decision due to its size, but wanted to try it out and see if I could make use of it. Obviously not for on-the-go vlogging, but maybe for live streams or for sit-down videos. So first I just wanted to talk a little bit about the specs of this beautiful camera right here. I'm no camera expert in any way, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about what this A7C has over the SL2 that I've been using so far. I think the main thing right now is just the difference between Canon cameras and Sony cameras are the body. I think this body is so much more compact. It's not necessarily a point and shoot camera for sure. It's still a full frame camera. It is a little bit on the heavier side, I would say, but you know, it still has all those full frame functions in something that's a lot more portable than a lot of the Canon cameras that you see. Ergonomically, I think the Canons might feel a little better in your hand, so I think that's why photographers really like it. You know, the viewfinder is more pronounced in Canon cameras. This viewfinder is not very pronounced at all. It's not the same feeling for sure. Another thing that really fueled my decision was this guy can film in 4K, which my camera cannot do. Highest is 1080p for the SL2, and I know the new Canon cameras also film in 4K as well. If I were going to find one, I was looking at the R5, which is very comparable to a lot of Sony cameras that are out right now. I think using the Sony camera to actually vlog outside and take it places is something that I felt a little hesitant to do with my Canon camera. Even though it is the smallest size, like the SL2, it's still pretty hefty to actually take along in a bag and to hold up to actually film yourself. Like, it just seems a little more clunky for that. But the only way to really compare the video quality of the two is to film myself using both, obviously, so here we go. Okay, so right now I have the cameras right next to each other, and I am filming at the exact same settings on manual mode right now. Filming in manual is what I usually do on my Canon camera anyways, so I wanted to just test out what it's like on the exact same settings. I'll put the settings down below. Now on the viewfinder at least, the Sony camera looks more clearer, it looks a little more brighter, I think too. I think with Sony it works a little better with low light situations as well, and so I do have my setup with a backlight on here, which I've been using for the Canon as well. This particular Canon camera, I do find that when I actually go into the editing software, the quality is a little bit fuzzy. I'm not going to be able to tell very much with just the screen on the camera right now because it always turns out a little different on the editing software. The only other difference is for the Sony camera right now, I am using a 28-60 lens, 2.8 I believe, and then for the Canon it's an 18-55mm lens. Now I do also have a wide angle lens for the Sony camera as well. It's a Samyang 14mm 2.8 lens. I really did want it to be for vlogging, but it's so freaking huge and heavy, so I don't think it's gonna be the perfect vlogging lens for sure. This is how big it is, but it's a big piece of metal, that's for sure, but it's pretty sturdy. I think the quality is actually really nice for what I paid for it. But I'll cut to using this, and then we're gonna go outside and film some vlog footage and just so you guys get the comparison of what that's like. Well, hi guys. This is the 14mm lens that we're using right now, the Samyang. That's almost full arm span, and you can see the whole thing, right? That's pretty freaking amazing, to be honest. So I can imagine if I'm doing like group shoots where, you know, I'm having 3 or 4 people that I need to film and we're all in a group together, this is a great option of having, like, you know, a lens that is able to capture a lot. Just in case you really need it. Like, this is probably as close as I'm ever gonna get to a fisheye lens too, because I don't think I ever have a use for a fisheye, and fisheyes are over $1,000 at least, so there's just not, it's not something that, oh, Doggo is here. But this is just to get a perspective on the Samyang 14mm. I feel like it is a handy lens to have. Not ideal to actually like travel with and take just because it's so big. And I guess this is the time to go outside and take both of these cameras, both of my lenses out vlogging and seeing what these bad boys can actually do. Alright, so I'm starting off using the Canon camera. I feel like right now the only issue is it's not even heavy. It's just the balance when I'm walking, when I'm holding it in front of me. Is it a little heavy? Yeah, it's a little heavy, but it's not like horribly heavy or anything like that. But I think just the balance with the lens sticking out a little more, it's just a little hard to maneuver in my opinion. I'm also using the automatic feature, so like autofocus, auto brightness, auto everything. In manual mode, because things change when you're walking around and stuff, it's a little too hard to manage that while vlogging at the same time. I don't know, I'll have to check the footage back and see what it's like, but it's looking pretty good. I feel like I could have used this to do outdoor vlogging for sure. Like, it's a possibility. It's just, you know, other vloggers seem to use something a little smaller. I'll try the A7C now and see what I think about that. Okay, and this is using the Sony A7C with the 28-60mm lens. And I don't know, let me look at the viewfinder. On the viewfinder, it is looking a little bit darker, I think. I will say the weather today, super cloudy, not very much sunlight at all. But as you can see, a little bit of blue skies in the air, so. But I really like the balance of this more. Just kind of the way it looks when you're vlogging too. It looks a little more subtle, I think. and I'll have to test out the sound quality when I'm doing post-edit, but I feel like the sound quality might be a lot better with the Sony A7C. Car going by, I don't know if you're able to hear that or not. The only thing I am concerned about with this is the stabilization. Not really sure if it's wobbling a lot or not. That just could be my hand as well. I am using a selfie stick too. They do have a gyro stabilization that you can use in post-edit, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that for this particular video, but if you want to learn more about that, I can make a separate video on it. Just make sure to comment below and say that's something you're interested in. Let's go ahead and try the wide angle lens now. Is my arm killing me right now? Yes, it is. Have I just switched to using 2 arms to carry the camera around? Yes, I have. Just because the lens is massive, the lens is heavy, I'm struggling a little bit here. And I got a badminton arm. It's not like I'm weak sauce. I don't got noodle arm or anything like that. Everything is pretty bright, and I'm not sure if I'm able to change that. I would need to... Okay, I was in movie mode and that really wasn't working out specifically for this lens, so I changed it to auto instead, and from what I can see, looks a lot better in auto just because it was so bright before, but I wasn't actually able to change the aperture in the manual settings. So I think if I'm using this lens, I need to either go manual or go auto for it to actually work. But my arm is killing me now, so I have to put this thing down. At least you guys get a perspective of what it looks like. So I think it's time for a summary. Now I've edited most of the video and gone over the footage that we have so far, and I've noticed that the Sony quality for video is a little better than the Canon in my opinion. Now I'm not saying that the Canon SL2 is not a viable camera for YouTube in this day and age. I think it still holds up really well and has good video quality as long as you get good lighting as well. But because the Sony camera came out later, I feel like it just has more features and is a more updated camera in general. One thing you are probably wondering, which it took a little while for me to figure out as well, is what is that clicking sound in the Sony camera footage? I figured out it was my own fault. It was just human error. On the side of the camera, the A7C has these little brackets in order to attach the strap to. I didn't put the strap on my camera because I knew I was basically using it more for vlog footage and video, so it's always going to be on a tripod or on a selfie stick or something like that. But I just didn't take off the brackets because I didn't think about it, and that's where the noise is coming from. So as long as you know that the brackets are removable, then you guys are not going to have a problem whatsoever. So just looking at the Sony A7C really quick, there are a few things that I really love and a few things that I kind of hate. The first thing I love is just the size and usability. I feel like because it's a newer camera, there's a lot of new features. It's also mirrorless and full frame, and you can even plug it into your computer and use it as a webcam. And with the size, it's really easy to bring it on the go, and it doesn't take up much space in your bag or your luggage. I also think the image and video quality is pretty amazing for such a small camera. I just feel like I'm getting better image and video quality than I am with my older cameras, and this upgrade really was worth it in my opinion. Now looking at things that I hate about the camera, well, the biggest glaring problem is the video stabilization. Because this camera is so compact, I really wanted to use it for walking vlogs and other opportunities where I could take it outside, but because the video stabilization is pretty bad, I don't know if I'll have an opportunity to do that. I know there is gyro stabilization and stabilization in your editor as well, so I'll have to try that in my spare time. And the only other thing is the equipment cost. It doesn't come with an extra battery or an actual battery charger, so that is another thing that I'm gonna have to buy, as well as just lenses for this camera are very expensive, so you are putting a little more money into just buying a Sony camera in the first place. Do I regret it? Not at all. I feel like there are so many things that I can do with this camera and so many things that I haven't learned that I can do with it as well, so it's a whole learning process and it's gonna be a pretty awesome adventure. And I'm hoping that not only the quality of video on my YouTube channel will go up, but also just the passion I feel with making videos, even not for the YouTube channel, will be just so much more fun with this camera. And that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know in the comments below what kind of camera that you're using right now and your experience with your camera, and also let me know if you'd be interested in seeing a video about video stabilization stabilization and using the gyro stabilization that Sony offers. Personally, I know it's something that I will be having to use in the future depending on the types of videos that I make. So if you guys are interested in learning a little bit about how I edit and that kind of thing, I'd be happy to make a video about that as well. Also, if you have the time, make sure to hit all those buttons down below in order to support the channel, and I'll see you next time. Peace.